Perfect. So a very good morning to all the friends and participants in Italy, and a very good afternoon to all the friends and participants in Thailand. And of course, a very warm welcome to everyone at this important digital meeting on opportunities in Thailand for the Italian medical and healthcare value chain. We'll stay together in 1 hour and a half, and we will have the opportunity to discuss a very important topic, and hopefully, and I'm sure that we will have all the details to strengthen the opportunities and the business opportunities between Italy and Thailand on a sector which is very important in Thailand and in Italy. We'll do it with a number of prominent panelists, and I introduce all of them to you later on during our conversation. Allow me to remind that there is the possibility to pose and submit questions to all our speakers by sending an email to internazionale@ambrosetti.eu. I repeat, internazionale@ambrosetti.eu. It will be possible to submit questions online and also offline, of course. I don't want to waste your time because we have a lot of speakers, a lot of topics, a lot of opportunities to discuss, and I would like to immediately introduce Ms. Arun Rat, Director of the Thailand Board of Investment of the Paris office and the Thailand Board of Investment. Allow me to thank the BOI being the co-organizer and partners of this important event. So, Director Arun Rat, please, the floor is yours for your welcome remarks.
Introduction, thank you for your kind introduction, Mr. Lorenzo Tavasi. Good morning, His Excellency Lorenzo Galanti. He's an ambassador of Italy to Thailand, and His Excellency Churchill Laktabut, Ambassador of Thailand to Italy. Good afternoon, distinguished guest speaker from Thailand. And ladies and gentlemen, I am Churchan Arunrat, representing Thailand Board of Investment, Paris office, which responsible for investment from Italy, France, UK, Ireland, Spain, and Portugal. Thank you everyone for joining our virtual event today on opportunity in Thailand for the Italian medical and healthcare value chain. This webinar is organized by Thailand Board of Investment Paris office. We are honored to have Ms. Prisana Saheng, expert from BOI headquarters in Thailand, to give a presentation on investment environment and BOI support in the medical sector and healthcare sector. And knowledgeable guest speaker from Thai Food and Drug Administration, Kun Gorapat Daisansi, to brief us of law and regulation of doing business in Thailand, especially in the medical device sector. We are pleased to have Mr. Adisorn Apasutirat, Chairman of Medical and Health Device Manufacturer in Industry Club of the Federation of Thai Industry, which could be your alliance of your first step towards medical device industry in Thailand. We also have the respectable guest speaker from Victoria Group, Mr. Alberto La Lumia, Italian company, to share their experience of doing business in Thailand. And for our moderator, we are delighted to have Mr. Lorenzo Tavasi, partner and responsible for international development, the European House Ambassador. In the line with the country Thailand 4.0 policy, the Thai government considers the medical and healthcare industry to be priority sector for investment and further development, while the government policy provides the strategic direction needed for Thailand to strengthen its position as a region medical hub. Other factors, including a strong foundation and health-related sector, rising demand for health service, and attractive investment incentives, among others, also play a significant role in strengthening Thailand's position as the medical hub of Asia. With a strong healthcare infrastructure already in place and an international reputation for its highly skilled medical professionals and international standard medical services. Thailand has become a medical hub not only for ASEAN, but also for Asia and beyond. Combined with the government supportive policy and the Thailand Board of Investment Incentive, Thailand offers the ideal investment destination for the wide range of medical and healthcare service provider and medical device manufacturer. We would like now to turn the floor to Mr. Lorenzo Tovazzi to introduce each speaker and run the program. Thank you very much.
Thanks to you, Director. Thank you very much. And I'm honored to introduce two ambassadors. Italian ambassador to Thailand, Mr. Galanti, and after him, the Thai ambassador to Italy, Mr. Raktoputu. I'm very honored because they are, of course, the pillars of our institutions, respected institutions in our countries. And so I'm very pleased to hand over to Mr. Galanti, to Ambassador Galanti. Ambassador, please, we're eager to listen to you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Tavazzi, Your Excellency, Ambassador Chichu Raktabut, and Kun Chachan. I'm delighted to be able to virtually join all distinguished participants from Italy and Thailand in this important gathering and to brainstorm on opportunities in Thailand for the Italian medical and healthcare value chain. My thanks go to the European House Ambrosetti for organizing this event with the Board of Investment of Thailand and for inviting me. Healthcare, biopharma, medical services, and public health policies have risen to the fore as a consequence of the global pandemic that we're experiencing now since more than 1 year. If anything, one of the extraordinary consequences of this unprecedented in our lifetimes pandemic is the speed at which pharmaceutical companies were able to identify vaccines and institutions are able to assess the safety and security as well as effectiveness of the vaccines, which ultimately come from a very intense scientific research. At the same time, however, the uncertainty and the potential disruption in the supply chains and exports experienced during the pandemic have underlined the need to be near to the market, especially on strategic productions, such as those life-saving pharmaceuticals and equipment needed for prevention and therapy. This is one of the reasons why we're looking with renewed interest today in our session at the Thai health and medical sectors as part of a regional hub and as a destination of Italian products as well as investments. At the same time, Italian companies might offer interesting opportunities for Thai investors and companies as a byproduct of this event. From a public health perspective, Thailand has done very well in containing the COVID-19 pandemic. The current third wave causes a higher number of new cases, but still well below other countries in the region and across the world. Thailand's response was and is effective. This effectiveness certainly comes at a price in terms of short-term growth. Long-term, though, its reputational gains might translate into an economic asset. In the last decade, Thailand has realized its ambition to become a medical hub and a healthcare and wellness destination. Its attractiveness as a healthcare destination is due to the quality of medical and health services as well as its competitiveness. The abundance of private hospitals which are oriented towards a foreign customer base remains at the core of Thailand's strategy to attract quality tourism in the post-pandemic era. At the same time, the healthcare industry in Thailand will continue to grow, driven by the government's priority on healthcare accessibility for Thai citizens. The Thai healthcare system is based on the principle of universal access. The vast majority of the population is covered by public health insurance under one of three major schemes. Looking at the healthcare market in Thailand, its growing prospects are good, also due to aging population, to high incidence of chronic diseases and non-communicable diseases, together with the expansion of hospitals, as I mentioned. In the pharmaceutical sector particularly, there is room for Italian pharma companies, especially in some therapeutic areas where with low generic competitors, such as oncology drugs, which require significant R&D efforts, and ophthalmology drugs, just as an example. Similarly to the Italian population, the aging population of Thailand bodes well for medical devices supporting the lifestyle of the elderly. Medical devices that treat chronic diseases are also high in demand. The figures on imports of those products speak in favor of establishing local productions to substitute imports with local manufacturing. The Board of Investment, as we just heard, will explain the incentives offered by the Thai government to foreign investors. The so-called Eastern Economic Corridor, the vast area in the highly industrialized districts east of Bangkok, or rather provinces east of Bangkok, is set to become a high technology cluster with an ecosystem that involves manufacturing, universities and research center and infrastructure, both digital and physical, to create an environment conducive to high value added productions and continued innovation. The rollout of commercial 5G will allow for increased use of digital technologies related to health, such as telemedicine. And allow me a footnote. The traditional medicine based on Thai herbs, the richness in Thailand's biodiversity, and the Thai people's awareness and culture about the quality and virtue of botanical food supplements allowed for the development of a vast market. The Thai-Italian Chamber of Commerce in Bangkok is launching a series of webinars to educate more about the traditional pharmacopoeia of Thailand, focusing exactly on the traditional medicine of Thai herbs. It might be an interesting domain for Italian companies. Not many people know that Red Bull is originally a Thai drink. You may want to Google the story. It is very interesting. Italy, for its part, has plenty to offer in the fields of life sciences, healthcare, and medical devices and services, both in terms of biopharmaceuticals as in the field of medical devices. Italian companies are on the edge of innovation. Italy is a leading pharmaceutical manufacturer, and its companies operate at the center of an ecosystem where research is no longer confined to corporate boundaries, but increasingly performs through partnerships with universities, SMEs, startups, non-profit bodies, and clinical centers. About public health, the Italian National Health Services has been guided by the principle of universal coverage, solidarity, human dignity, and health, very much like the Thai one. From an organizational point of view, the system is regionally based. Italy's healthcare system is constantly ranked among the best in the world. It has, yes, come under severe stress during the COVID-19 emergency when Italy was exposed to the pandemic very early on. Other countries were able to draw lessons from our experience. I will stop here. I'm delighted by the presence with us today of many key players in the sector, from Italy and Thailand, both public and private, including regulators. As health is one key dimension of Italy's new development partnership with ASEAN and its member states, of course, Thailand being one of them, I look very much forward to our discussion about potential projects that the embassy and more broadly the Italian government will be pleased to support. Thank you very much. Kopkun Krab.
Thank you to you, Ambassador. Thank you for giving your perspective. Of course, it's very interesting and relevant. But now I'm almost pleased to give the floor to His Excellency, Thai Ambassador to Italy, Excellency Raktabut. Ambassador, please, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. His Excellency Ambassador Lorenzo Galanti, Mr. Lorenzo Tawazzi from European House and Real City, Director Jan Arunrat from BOI office in Paris, and distinguished delegates, distinguished participants. I'm pleased to join you in the webinar this morning. But first of all, I would like to thank the European House, Embryo City, and BOI Paris for this initiative and to make this webinar happen. And for participants, I would like to thank you all for your time and interest to join us in this event. Today, we'll be talking about medical and healthcare opportunities in Thailand, in which the interested parties from Italy may find a good chance to collaborate with us. I'll give some overviews so that interested parties can have some idea about medical and healthcare in Thailand. At the outset, I hope that I would not be too much exaggerate to say that medical and healthcare facilities and system in Thailand are strong in terms of quality. It is well built and it is well integrated with highly qualified medical personnel, equipment, and other facilities. It is worthy to say that the Thailand's medical systems owe so much to His Royal Highness Prince Mahidol, the grandfather of His Majesty the King, who dedicated all his lifetime laying down the foundations of modern medical education and modern medical practice in Thailand. At present, there are 21 government medical schools and 2 private ones in Thailand all over the country. Our medical schools produce highly qualified doctors as well as nurses and technicians. Nurses and technicians are very important beside doctors because without them, the medical system cannot function. Thailand also has a large number of medical volunteers who live everywhere in the country. These volunteers help so much in managing health crisis in Thailand before. They used to help managing cholera crisis and other outbreak in the past, and now they have a very significant roles in helping the government cope with the coronavirus. The quality of medical and healthcare in Thailand are well known to, I think, all over the world. It has become a good choice for foreign patients to come to Thailand for medical service, medical care for many decades now. But I would like to point out here that in order to maintain the high standards of medical service, Thailand needs to possess and needs to develop stronger necessary industries and laboratories to support it. At present, Thailand depends so much on other more advanced countries on the R&D and other supporting industries, including the manufacturing of medical device and laboratories, and also pharmaceutical industries. I suggest that these are opportunities for investors to look into. At this point, if you begin to see a chance to collaborate with Thailand, you may want to know more about the relevant government policy. The Thai government has a policy called Thailand 4.0, which aims to transform Thailand to become a value-based, innovative, and technology-driven economy. The Thai government consider healthcare industry as priority sector for investment and development. Thailand has a lot of ambition. We have ambition to make Thailand a medical hub. We have ambition to become a world-class healthcare provider. We have ambition to become a regional medical and wellness center. We also have ambition to become a medical tourist destination. To reach these goals, the Thai government has identified 4 major areas to promote. Number 1 is wellness hub. Number 2 is medical and service hub. Number 3 is academic hub, and number 4 is product hub. These are 4 areas of investment for Thailand that Thailand needs collaboration from Italy and from elsewhere. Currently, Thailand has 60 JCI accredited private hospitals, which is the highest number in Southeast Asia. Foreign travelers may come to Thailand for treatment as part of their holiday or as part of their business trip. The price and the quality of medical service in Thailand are good. The hospitality in Thailand is great. These are key criteria for foreign patients to come. Recently, there have been some comments or some remarks about the higher cost of living in Bangkok and the higher cost of medical treatment in Thailand. Yes, certainly, it is not as cheap as some years before, but I think that the medical expense in Thailand is still very competitive. I would like to talk a bit more about international patients whom we can serve. The COVID-19 pandemic has adverse effect on all travels to Thailand. But the Thai government is planned to reopen the country from July this year. And let's hope that the situation will improve so that the medical option for foreign patients will reopen again. For foreign patients who come to Thailand, visa is an issue. In line with the government policy, the Thai immigration has introduced a new visa scheme to facilitate people from 6 countries in the Middle East and 4 countries in Southeast Asia, including China, that they can stay in Thailand for 90 days without obtaining the visa. What they need is the medical certificate confirming their medical grounds, and then they can stay in Thailand for 3 months without obtaining a visa. They can come immediately when they need. Moreover, foreign citizens who are 50 years of age and older from 14 countries in Europe, in America, and Japan are eligible for a new long stay visa. They can stay in Thailand for 10 years. To end my remarks, Thailand and Italy has long and cordial relationship. We signed our Treaty of Friendship 153 years ago. Our relationship prospers in many ways all along our history, and it will flourish more. In the field of medical service, it is well known that Italians' medical expertise is second to none. On the other hand, Thailand's strong healthcare infrastructures and combined with supportive government policy and BOI incentive, our 2 countries can certainly increase the cooperation in this sector for our mutual benefit. Finally, I would like to reiterate that the Royal Thai Embassy in Rome stands ready to support and to facilitate the future contacts between our authorities and interested parties here in Italy. Distinguished participants, I wish that you have a very fruitful discussion this morning, and I wish that all of you will be in good health and be safe from the coronavirus. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ambassador. Thank you for giving us some very informative and practical information, and let's hope to start traveling again freely and totally safe. Thank you very much. And now we move to another topic of our discussion, of our today's discussion, particularly the investment environment in Thailand and BOI support in the medical and healthcare sector. We'll discuss this topic, we'll deepen this topic with Ms. Saheng, Senior Investment Promotion Officer of the Thailand Board of Investment. And as has been said, the medical and healthcare sector is one of the most thriving one in Thailand and the one of BOI's priority for attracting investment to Thailand. And so, Ms. Saheng, we are very eager to listen to you and to the information that we would like to share with our participants. Please, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I would like to express my sincere appreciation for attending this seminar today. My name is Prisana Sahing. I'm the Investment Promotion Officer from the Office of Thailand Board of Investment. I'm responsible for promoting investment in medical industry. And regarding to my topic today, my presentation today is focusing on the overall situation of Thailand, BOI supportive measure and the opportunities in medical and healthcare industry. And the last week, I will present about the BOI services. So let me start. So one of the reasons that pushed Thailand has been the production base of ASEAN come from the strategic location of the country. Thailand is located in the center of ASEAN region and close to some of the largest economic countries of Asia, such as China. And if we think about ASEAN, we have around 700 million consumers. Moreover, Thailand is well connected by the land with a fast-growing CLMV area, which is Cambodia, Laos, Myanmar, and Vietnam. And in 2019, the Thai economy expanded by 2.4%. This figure was larger than CLMV combined. The total value of Thai's exports was around 245 billion US dollar, and we listed on the top 3 in ASEAN. Thailand gained the trade surplus for 5 years, which implies that Thailand is one of the important manufacturing base for industrial products in ASEAN regions. The top countries which are the main trade partners of Thailand are USA, China, Japan, Vietnam, and Malaysia. And from the survey of the World Bank, it's shown that Thailand is one of the top 10 best countries to invest in 2020. Moreover, Thailand was ranked in the 3rd in ASEAN and 21st globally in terms of ease of doing business in 2020 also. Until now, Thailand continues to be the best investment location for global leading company across a wide range of industry. As you can see on the slide, this example is of MNC names that already invest in Thailand. And this part, I will explain more about the measure from the Thailand Board of Investment. BOI stands for the Office of the Board of Investment. We are the government agency under the Office of the Prime Minister. Our mission is to promote investment for Thailand economic and industrial development by granting the incentive to investors. BOI also provide comprehensive information and advice for investors like this seminar today. And we also coordinate between foreign business community and other public agency. And we also provide business support service for investors as well. For BOI incentive can be divided into 2 types, tax and non-tax incentive. Tax incentive consists of exemption for corporate income tax, exemption of import duty on machinery, exemption of the duty on raw material, and import duty on R&D material. And for non-tax incentive, it's like a kind of facilitation of doing business, such as BOI can allow the company to be 100% for 100 shareholder in manufacturing and some services business, and BOI provide visa and work permit for expats. And this slide shows the summary of BOI investment schemes. The standard package compile. We have two packages. The first one is called activity-based incentive. The corporate income tax exemption can be exempt up to 8 years depending on the product. And another group is called the technology-based incentive, which is designed for the business that utilize for targeted technology, and they have cooperation or technology transfer with Thai institute. This type can be received the corporate income tax exemption start at 10 years. And moreover, the investment project can be granted the additional exemption of corporate income tax for a maximum of 3 years. But that project must have further activities such as the R&D activity, and we call this scheme as a merit-based incentive. Besides this, if the project located in some targeted area like in EEZ or in special economic zone, they can get the special incentive depending on the government policy or special measure at the time. And this slide shows the summary of the incentive of the standard package that we have. We provide the corporate income tax exemption as a maximum for 8 years without limitation for the budget. And for the Group B, the incentive comprises of the exemption of import duty on machinery and raw material, and also the non-tax incentive, such as the right to own the land. The criteria of how many years on CIT exemption can be granted for each business are based on the level of technology or the linkage in the supply chain. And next part, I will show the fact and investment opportunity in medical and healthcare industry. This is the overall picture of the medical industry in Thailand, with a solid healthcare infrastructure already in place, with a high-skilled medical professionals and international standard medical services. Thailand has become a medical hub, not only for ASEAN, but also for Asia and beyond. The size of medical device market in 2019 was around 22 billion US, and we forecast that this figure will grow at least 8 to 10% for each year. And in terms of service, Thai healthcare infrastructure includes almost 1,400 hospitals and medical facilities, which almost 400 of them are the private hospitals, and more than 60 medical facilities in Thailand are accredited by JCI standard. So Thailand became the 4th highest number of JCI accredited hospitals in the world outside the USA. And Thailand is the world's 5th biggest medical tourism market, where around 3.5 million medical tourists spend their money close to 600 million each year. And since the situation of COVID-19 pandemic, Thailand is among the most prepared countries to cope with the health crisis in this region. And according to the Global Health Security Index, Thailand is ranked as the 6th country of 195 countries, and we get a score around 73.2 out of 100 points. So Thailand is also the Asia #1 and the only one developing country on the world's top 10 list. And this is the overall structure of medical industry supply chain of Thailand. Thailand almost has a fully integrated medical supply chain. We have a variety of local raw material, including agriculture, chemical substance, medical parts, textile, plastic, and rubber. And we also have the manufacture in conventional medicine, herbal medicines, medical foods, and medical device. Moreover, Thailand provides a good medical service in many facilities such as a hospital, clinic, wellness center, and rehabilitation center. And there are many factors that cause the demand growth in Thailand in medical markets. The first one is about the aging society, because the proportion of citizens aged over 60 is one of the highest in ASEAN region, and it is also forecasted that by 2045, this proportion will exceed other regions. And nowadays, the lifestyle of Thai people is changing a lot. They spend their money on health, goods, and medical service is accounted for 5 to 6%. And there are some demand from the investment in new hospital, because existing hospital operator the plan to invest in new hospital and medical equipment that will support continuous growth in demand for medical device in Thailand. And certain illness conditions such as heart disease, stroke, and diabetes tend to increase as the number of elderly in the size in the Thailand. And also we have the tourists come to Thailand for medical treatment as well. And this is the overall industry, medical device industry. Almost 90% of medical device in Thailand market is supplied by import, especially for the high technology medical device. And local manufacturers produce only a consumable healthcare product. And you can see that most of Thai manufacturers are small enterprise, and they produce only the single-use device such as the surgical glove. So Thailand still rely on import, especially medical device that require high technology. And this is show the example company, foreign company that already invest in medical device in Thailand. And this is overall figure of the pharmaceutical market in Thailand. We forecast that Thailand will tend to have the biological drugs in 2028. And this slide shows the example of biopharmaceutical company that we have in Thailand. The example of biopharmaceutical that have been produced in Thailand, such as the diagnostic test kit, therapeutic vaccine for allergy, erythropoietin for chronic renal failure patients, immune cell therapy for cancers as stem cell, NK cell, and T cells. And for example, the protein for therapeutic medicine as well. We have both Thai, 100% Thai company joint venture, such as the joint venture with South Korea as nowadays. And this is show the support organization in biopharmaceutical industry. We have Thailand Science Park, we have the National Biopharmaceutical Facility that they can produce the biological drug for clinical research and for production scale. And this is show the category that can WI provide incentive in medical device industry. And we also promote pharmaceutical industry. And we also promote the medical service sector, such as the Medical Center of Excellence, Hospital, and Rehabilitation Center. And this is the list of biotechnology related to pharmaceuticals, such as the biopharmaceutical agent, biodiagnostic kits, biomolecule, and bioactive substance that use biotechnology. And the last, I will present about the BOI services. We have the one-stop service located in the center of Thailand. We have promoted, we have the service such as the providing smart and visa work permit allowed within 3 hours. And we have many electronic and online systems to support our operation to investors, such as we have the e-investment promotion. Is a web-based application for submitting the BOI application. No need to go to Thailand, and paperless application can be done. And we also have the smart visa. You can Thailand called this program Smart Visa. The privilege is provide a visa as a maximum for 4 years to work with no work permit required, no re-entry required, and fast tax service at international airport. So I hope you may be interested to invest in Thailand. If you need more information, please visit our website or you are welcome to contact BOI Paris office as well. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thanks to you, Mr. Heng. Thank you very much for your very thorough and informative presentation and for giving us an overview of the support of the BOI that can offer to Italian companies in the medical and healthcare sector. Thank you very much indeed. But I would like to ask, if I may, maybe to Director Arunrat, because among the foreign companies that have invested in Thailand in the medical sector and shown in slides, in your slide, Mr. Saheng, I noticed that there are no Italian companies. What do you think that the reasons for this situation, and what are the strengths of the country, of the Italian companies that are perceived in Thailand and on which we can leverage to increase investments? Director, please, according to your observability and to your competencies.
Can you repeat the question again, please?
Yes, of course. I received a question that in the slides that Ms. Heng presented earlier, there are no Italian companies operating in Thailand in the medical sector. So the question for you is why? What are the reasons behind the situation, according to your opinion? And on the contrary, what are the strengths of Italian companies that are perceived in Thailand and on which we can leverage in order to increase investments and make more business together?
Okay. One of the reasons that made it Asia is not the Italian traditional market, because of the Italian medical company export mainly to other European countries and to the North America. They are not aware of all the goods of the good opportunity that Thailand offers. I know that's why we know that you have the strength, you have the capability, you have the strength, you have more famous company. That's why BOI would like and we ask you. That's why we organize this event. Italian company in the medical sector spend more than 1 billion in R&D every year. They are perceived as highly innovative company with the high technology, offering top quality products and medical equipment. As the world gravity center of economic growth is now shifting toward Asia. You cannot only tap into the opportunity of Thai market, but also use Thailand as the regional hub to export your product to region by setting a service platform or production facility. We will facilitate your investment. Thank you.
Thank you. The regional dimension is key to move and to enlarge profitably the business and the relation. Thank you very much for underlining this point, which is fundamental. Now we move to another fundamental topic, laws and regulations of doing business in the medical device sector in Thailand. And we discussed this topic with Ms. Trisan Sri, Director of Medical Device Control Division of the Thai Food and Drug Administration in the Ministry of Public Health. And I'm very happy to say that Ms. Trisan Sri has over 30 years of experience in medical device regulation in Thailand. So I think that is one of the most, or probably the most knowledgeable person to have with us today and to discuss laws and regulation doing business in the medical device sector in Thailand. So please, Ms. Trisan Sri, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Good morning. My name is Kalapati Sansri, Director of Medical Device Control Division, Thai FDA. Today I'm here to talk about law and regulation of doing business in the medical sector in Thailand. My talk is divided into two parts. Medical device regulation in Thailand and testing market device on Thailand market. Thailand submit instrument of ratification in January this year. This means that medical device in Thailand was regulated according to Asian Medical Device Directive or AMDD, similar to other 9 Asian member states. The definition of medical device in Thailand is similar to that of AMDD, except one thing: medical device for animals. Thai FDA and US FDA regulate medical device for human and animal under the same regulation. You can see the definition in my slide. You can see. And we would like to emphasize that achievement of the purpose according on human must have intended by pharmacological, immunological, and metabolic. And I have the definition of accessory, mean the article apparatus of product. It is intended especially by its manufacturer or product owner to be used together with a particular medical device to enable or assist that device to be used in accordance with its intent purpose. Next is that is one word that was mentioned very often in medical device regulation in Asian countries is the CSET, Common Submission Dossier Template, what described in Annex 4 of AMDD. It's a document format to demonstrate conformity to the essential principle of safety and performance (EPSP) for all classes of medical device or summary of technical documentation stated by IMDIF. Essential principle of safety and performance of medical device or EPSP is in Annex 1 of AMDD. The document submitted in this topic and RTS report indicate safety and performance of medical device is divided into parts: general requirement and general requirement and design and manufacturing requirements. Let's move to the second part of my talk: testing medical device on Thailand market. Before you press medical device on Thailand market, either manufacturer or import, you must have establishment license and then register medical device based on list classification. Once your medical device in Thailand market, you must follow post-market obligations. Medical device regulation in Thailand are aligned with AMDD that as follows: classification of medical device in Article 4, list classification for non-IVD medical device in Annex 2, and list classification rule for IVD medical device in Annex 3. Also, Thai FDA named license type of Class 1 as listing medical device, Class 2 to 3 as notified medical device, and Class 4 is as licensed medical device. As I mentioned before at the beginning, Thailand ratified AMDD in January this year. Phasing or transition period is a very important step to fully AMDD implement. Right now, there are 2 options for Class 1 submission: full listing and partial one. The qualification of partial one submission is the import license expire before March 16 next year, or establishment license for manufacturer expire before December 31st this year. Next is until February 14 to 2024. There are 3 options for Class 2 to 3, Class 2 to 4 submission: full CST, partial 1, and partial 2. The qualification of partial one submission is the import license expire before February 14 next year, or establishment license for manufacturing expire before December 31st this year. The qualification of partial two submission is the importing license expire after 14 February next year, or establishment license for manufacturer expire after December 51st this year, or new importer or new manufacturer. As your medical device one register, you would like to advertisement your product. You must get at the advertisement license before advertisement. Fortunately, direct advertising to healthcare professional include advertisement of medical device are exempt from approval, and also for only trade name, trademark or logo are exempt for approval also. Further, if you have any inquiry, you can contact and ask during our office hour Monday to Friday, 8:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. You also like the email mdcd1988@fda.mops.go.th. We will respond within 15 business days before contact us. Please prepare as follows: indication and intended use form of medical device, Thai medical device regulation. 3 is history of registration in other countries such as USA, EU, Canada, Australia, and Japan. 4 is a specific question regarding of your product. Let me summarize again briefly. Before placing medical device on Thailand market, manufacturer or importer have establishment license before register medical device. Since Thailand ratified AMDD this year, establishment license must submit safety and performance document or CSDT with different stream depending on medical device classification and validity of license. That's all I can say today. Thank you very much for your attention. ขอบคุณค่ะปาเสีย
Thank you, Director Tisanzui, for your presentation, for informing us about the laws and regulation, a general overview of laws and regulation in the medical device sector in Thailand. Thank you very much for your references. I think that's, of course, fundamental. And now we move to another aspect of our conversation, in particular, the first step towards medical device industry in Thailand. And I'm very happy to introduce Mr. Apasutirat, Chairman of Medical and Health Device Manufacturers Industry Club, the Federation of Thai Industries, MEDIC. Mr. Apasutirat is also Managing Director of Novatech, which is a Thai medical device company providing innovative and quality products and services in medical and healthcare markets. So Mr. Apasutirat can give us a very practical and concrete view on again, first steps toward medical industry in Thailand. So Addison, please, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. Yeah, thank you very much. It's my pleasure today to have a chance to give a presentation today to all of you here, or the distinguished guests. May I start with my slide? The topic today is the first step of the toward the medical device industry in Thailand. First of all, I introduce myself. I am the chairman of the medical and health device manufacturer industry club of the Federation of Thai Industry. It means we are a group of the manufacturer of medical device in Thailand. So I would like to start with the Thailand. Everyone may know Thailand. This is Thailand as the hub in ASEAN. ASEAN country, we have altogether 10 countries. And right now, I think it's almost 700 million. And Thailand is the fourth biggest country in terms of population. But in terms of geographically location, you can see that from Thailand, from Bangkok, Thailand here, if you take 1 hour, you fly, we will reach about 270 million people. If you take about 2 or 3 hours, you reach 1.5 billion people. And take about 7 to 8 hours, you can reach about over 4,000 population. So this is the center of Asia. So you can see that there's a very big population and big opportunity here in Thailand. In terms of economy, we are the second largest of the economy in ASEAN. You can see, and when we talk about economy, we are in population wise, we are the fourth biggest. Sorry, it's not moving. Okay, and it also the we are in the top medical tourism destination in the world. Especially in Asia, we are top. You can see the number of medical tourists come to each country in the world. Thailand is one of the leading country. Yeah, and in terms of the sorry, it's not. In terms of the aging, so now the population in Thailand, we move to the aging society. This year we have about 13 million people as aging people, and it means that it's about 20% of the population. It means if you go outside the street, 5 people, you meet 1 people that are elderly. And in next 10 years, 20 years, it will move more and more. So this is when you live longer, live older, and you need a lot of medication and lot of you need the good health to live longer. Yeah. So this is the opportunity in the region. And in next 10 years, the surrounding country, our neighborhood country in ASEAN, also move to the elderly population more and more. It means we are the pioneer in ASEAN that we move first, and then we have a lot of service to serve to the ASEAN country in future, in near future. In terms of the population, and you can see population of the elderly, we need a hospital. In Thailand, we have altogether 2,200 hospital. It means about almost 2,000 public hospital and about over 300 private hospital. And all of this, we have altogether 68 JCI accredited hospital. It means the second biggest JCI accredited hospital in the world, following the USA. And in terms of the healthcare professional that serve in the industry, we have all the doctors, nurses, dentists, pharmacists, medical technicians, physical therapists, veterinarian. All of these, almost all of these, they have to use medical device for the patient. We have 23 medical schools to produce medical doctor. And also we have 12 medical engineering school to produce biomedical engineer to serve the medical device industry. Now come to the financing, healthcare financing. In Thailand, everyone got the healthcare coverage with 3 schemes. The first scheme is the universal health coverage. It means cover all the people in Thailand that are not covered by other scheme. The second scheme is the civil servant. The government officer will be taken care by this scheme. It's a civil servant benefit scheme, CSMBS. And the last one is the social security. It means all the private employee have to can get the financing, health financing by this scheme. It means all people in Thailand go to the hospital, get the medical treatment free of charge. With these three covered by these three schemes, you can see quite a big budget for this finance support. Now we go to the medical device market. If you see that we have import and we also have export. Now you can see surprisingly we have export more than import. You see, especially last year we have a lot of export in from the COVID. We have a lot of export of the medical gloves, surgical gloves to that use. That's the demand in the world because we are the top leading top producer of the rubber in the world, and we are moving also the synthetic rubber for the synthetic glove, and also we have also other. You see that if we divide the group of medical device, we divide into three subgroup. The first group, the dark green is the single-use device. The light green is the durable device, and the dark one is the diagnostic. You can see that we import a lot of durable device and also single-use device and some of the diagnostic device. But when we export mostly the single-use device because when most of the factory manufacturing facility here, they produce the big volume big consumption product that can ship to the worldwide. And the import market, you can see import market, we mostly import from USA, Germany, Japan, and also China, and it's coming. And we export also to USA, Japan, Netherlands, Germany. That's a big destination of our export. And you can see the growth. The growth is going every year. In the past, the GARG is about imports about 7.6%, and the export about 9.2%. It means we export more than import. If you see last year's situation during the 2019 to 2021, this year, last year we have COVID pandemic, the first wave. You can see in March last year, we import a lot in March last year. Most of the those kind of the COVID test kit, the PPE, the mask, and also the equipment like a ventilator, something like that. And also we also export a lot, mostly in the those kind of mask and surgical mask and PPE, and also the glove, surgical glove. And you see the trend of the growth trend is still growing. It's still growing during the COVID, and we believe that this pattern will go for a certain period. But after COVID, I believe that we have more and more. We have more and more company manufacturer moving in Thailand. We have a cooperation, and then we have more facility here and can produce more for export and serve the local market also. In terms of import, you can see what we import. We import, most of import means we import mostly the electromedical device, diagnostic IVD, and also single-use and optomic and optical device, and hospital hardware. You see we export half of our export is a single-use device. and we are the biggest, one of the biggest producer of the optimal ophthalmic and optical device in Thailand also. Yeah. Now we have altogether the player in the industry. We have about 5,000 companies doing the business in medical device. 4.4 thousand are importer and 700 are manufacturer. And we, as a medic, we call shortly we call ourselves a group. We call us medic, the medical and health device manufacturer club, industry club. We exhibit on the in 2015 from 20 member company, and now we become bigger. Now we have 78 member and represent 10% of the total manufacturer in Thailand. This is our directory last directory last year. We have all the 70 member here, maybe not 70, but because we have more and more and not updated yet, the latest version is 2020. And if you can, if you want to see in detail of this of the manufacturer, you can download from this QR code, and you can see who is who in this in our group. In the medical, in our group of the Federation of Thailand Industry, Medical Device Club is the latest, the youngest club, one of the youngest club. We have altogether 45 industry club or industry group in the Federation, and we are the number 44. And we have very close connection with all the supply chain for the medical device industry. For example, the electronic, digital, the printing, the plastic, the auto part, the machine metal work, the rubber, the textile, and the digital industry. This all together, because medical device, we need all the technology to combine together to build, to construct the medical device. So in our federation, we work very closely together and can help each other to find the supply chain, right supply chain. And in terms of the health industry alone, we form a cluster of the health industry that's comprised of pharmaceutical club, the group, biotech group, herbal group, cosmetic group, dietary supplement group, and medical and health device group. This we also work very close together because we have to deal with the health industry. Yeah, we have meeting every month, 2 months, and to exchange idea, combine, because some product you can add and build a new product by combining this all of this group of business together. And Thailand will be one of your best partner in the healthcare industry. If you want to go to Asia, Thailand one of your option, because it is very good. It's a geographical hub. Now it's become the retirement hub. Everyone can come to here, have a long stay, have a peace of mind environment. We have a very natural, many good natural and cultural attraction. Our culture here, we are a care culture and land of smile. We are very friendly in Thailand. Our people, and we have a lot of biodiversity. Our food are very good. We are the world kitchen. We produce a lot of food to export to the world, and we are one of the top medical care spa center, excellent service, and also the spa and service. Yeah, this is all of my presentation today. I would like to invite you to join us and to work to explore the business collaboration to build our work business together on the win-win basis. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much to you, Addison. Thank you for your presentation. And I think that this last slide is the most evocative one of our entire conversation: business collaboration opportunities. And I would like to continue on this word, collaboration and opportunities, and with them introduce a success story, an Italian story, a true Italian success story of doing business in Thailand. And it's the story of Victoria Group, which is not in the medical healthcare sector, but is another sector. But I think that is one of the most inspiring stories that we can listen to. Particularly, Victoria is one of the world's leading manufacturers of bicycle tires, with, if I'm not wrong, with an annual production of more than 7 million tires and then almost 1,900,000 high-performance tubulars and cotton tires. And particularly in Thailand, Victoria has established the Lion Tires, which is the largest company in the group with over 1,300 employees, if again I'm not wrong. But I would like to introduce very happily Mr. Alberto Lalumia, Director Internazionale of Victoria Group. And Alberto, please let us know your story and your view on opportunities in Thailand. Alberto, the floor is yours, please.
Thank you, Lorenzo. And I take the opportunity to say good morning and good afternoon to your excellencies and friends from Ambrosetti and from BOI and all the participants to this interesting event. I try to share the presentation here. Okay. Well, as Lorenzo said, we are not really a company working in medical and healthcare system, but we love to believe that we contribute to the health of the people, because bicycle is becoming more and more popular, and it helps people to stay healthy. It helps the environment. So we think that we can give our contribution. So we produce bicycle tires, but we try to produce the best bicycle tires in the world. I'm giving you a quick history of our company, which has been established in 1953 in Milan. And in the 70s, moved from Milan to a nearby city in the Bergamo province, but also we started to relocate in Asia. So we opened up a factory in Singapore. Then in 1988, the ownership of the company passed to some Dutch investors, and we moved the factory from Singapore to Thailand. That is the start of our adventure in Thailand. Oh, here, actually, we missed 1993 when I joined the company. No, just kidding. Anyways, now 2013, we opened up and we built a new factory. The first one was in Bangpoo, in Samut Prakan, then another factory in Rayong, which was for compounding, rubber compound. And from that factory in 2014 came what we called Graphene Revolution. So a special compound with graphene inside that allow us to really produce the best performing bicycle tires in the world. In 2019, we moved the headquarters. Now we are on the highway between Milan and Bergamo, is the picture that you saw before. And in 2020, we got back to our roots. So the company was bought by a group of a private equity fund based in Milan, together with 15 managers of all our company around the world, including Thailand. So now a small part of the company is owned by a Thai manager. Now here where we are today, we are a small company compared with a big pharmaceutical, for example, but we think that we are globalized as the big one. So you see that we are present in Italy. We have our headquarters, but we are present in North and South America, in Europe, of course, in UK and in Holland. And we are present in Asia, especially in Thailand, where we have the only production facility of the group is based again in Thailand, between Bangkok, we have the regional operating headquarters, Bangpoo, where we have the main factory, and Rayong, where we have the rubber compound factory. Now, a big project that we are doing, this is related to Italy, the first cycling innovation center in Europe, and where we have advanced indoor testing facility and a bike park, which will be also open to the public. And I invite you in 1.5 years from now to visit us and having a relaxed day there. Now, innovation, as I said, and that is the result. Sometimes, even if I'm working with the company for over almost 30 years, I'm always get amazed the victory that we got with our brand, with our tires. In starting from late 70s till now, we won like 70 Tour de France, 14 Paris-Roubaix, 19 Giro d'Italia, 18 Giro d'Italia, and what is very impressive, 79 Olympic medals, out of which 32 Olympic gold medals in the last 3 Olympics. So really an overwhelming performance. No bicycle tire brand can get even close to this. And now if you look at 2021, we won over 70% of all World Tour victories. So it's really amazing. And that with tire produced in Thailand. So the excellence of the production of bicycle tire in the world is in Thailand, in our factory. Then it's not only with our brand maybe can account for about half, about 50%, the rest with other brand that we produce because they trust us, and I will show you later why. They trust us, and because we produce the edge of the technology. As I say before, innovation, R&D, that's what we are now. Now, these are the brands that they entrust our factory in Thailand to produce, and brands like Michelin, like Pirelli, Specialized, Continental. And not only that, we get the trust of the main name of the bicycle brand that use our tire for the teams and also the normal bike. Here I can mention some name that for sure most of you are aware of, like Bianchi, Pinarello, Colnago, Cannondale, and so on. So all top brand, and this is only what we have today, but I can say that there is no one bicycle brand that we didn't supply with our tires. Now let's focus on Thailand. Why Thailand? Thailand was the first, as I said, in 1988 we started, and we have 2 locations. One is in Bangpoo, Samut Prakan, which is about 30 kilometers from Bangkok, and another 100 kilometers down south. We have the new rubber plant, which was established in 2013. Now, our company, as I said, company was established at the end of 87. Operation started in 88. We have all possible certification. We have all possible quality system and whatever. We have about a capital of over 100 million baht, but the equity is over 1 billion. And this year we are going to touch the 2 billion baht sales. As a lot of health industry, we were not affected by this terrible pandemic, but actually our the bicycle business in general, so ours grew and is still growing. That's why you see that we have 1,200 people today, but we need to reach 1,500 before the end of the year. So we think that we try to give our small contribution because unfortunately many companies had the reverse trend than ours. Now, why we are so successful in terms of production? Because we are innovating. Thailand is good for innovation. We were talking about pharmaceutical and medical care. Now we'll give you a different example, very old economy, but still you can innovate. There are 3 pillars. One is our forehead extruder. Forehead extruder means that we can put in the same thread of one single tire 4 different compounds, for 4 different, for example, cornering, for rolling resistance, lasting, and so on. So this is one. Another pillar is our compounding factory, the one that developed the graphene compound. This is more on the chemical side and testing. Here we have engineer, technician, PhD that work for us. And that's why, again, a lot of those famous brands decided that it's better let us produce bicycle tire instead of producing themselves, and they have technology. So this is for the compound. And last is the most complete bicycle testing tire center. This was sometime the final stroke to get people say, oh yeah, we have to get there. Here we can test the tires, we can test wheels, and can really give the confidence that all our products are really on the edge of performance. Now, I want to finish explaining one of the reasons of our success. We came in 1988 without really big knowledge of the country, and we got a good support already then by the Board of Investment. So the Thai Board of Investment gave us all the help that we needed, and starting with the income tax holiday, as was explained. For us, we got 5 years after the starting of the operation. We had import duty exemption that, especially in a startup phases, when you start to import machine and so on, was very useful. And that was on a limited period. But what we still have are other non-tax incentive, and one is the ownership of the land. Normally, the ownership of the land in Thailand is regulated. It's not allowed in general, but we got this benefit, this incentive. Our is a 100% foreign-owned company, but we own the land both in Rayong and in Bangpoo. And as was also mentioned, the facilitation of hiring expats. So it's easy for us to get expatriates, although I want to underline that the expatriates are only in the regional headquarters and not in the factory, not in R&D. So the full innovation, let's say the creation of these beautiful tires is done by Thai engineer, Thai experts. So Thailand can be really good on this part. I hope having kept you awake, and I thank you for your attention, and thank for BOI and all the hosts here. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Alberto. Thank you for sharing your experience and the story of Toy Group, in particular in Thailand. I received already a question for you, very practical ones, meaning that what are the lessons learned from your experience you would like to share with Italian companies potentially interested in investing in Thailand?
Well, yes, the experience is to get good people to help you if you are not familiar with the country. The country is not easy. The language barrier is important. That's why, as also was mentioned before, there are, for example, no pharmaceutical company. So it's not easy. But at the end, you can really get something, and the infrastructure is good. The law is okay. I mean, it's not like other country that where is difficult. So, and again, BOI can be a big help, and if you are really keen and interested, you can do so much so that we are going to invest more, and we don't think about moving. We will be here.
Great, thank you very much. We are approaching the end of our conversation today, but we have some minutes still to go. I would like to pick up one question from the participant for Mr. Appasutirat. In particular, the question is, what partnership models can be established between Italian and Thai companies along the medical and healthcare supply chain, according to your experience, to your view? Alison, please.
Yeah, thank you. I think the question that why there's no Italian company, medical device company in Thailand, that's the question, and also that's also the challenge. I always tell my people that all the question or the problem or the challenge is an opportunity. Why don't we use this challenge to be our objective to do together, to have a cooperation, export the collaboration, and Mr. Ladmir say, as Mr. Ladmir said, you need the right people. We have to connect together as the right people. We can do many opportunity. For example, You can do like I think you have a own manufacturing here, or do you do the joint venture, or if you consider to move to expand to Asia, you can see the benefit of Thailand, and we can work together. In the federation, our industry club, we have an expert. We know the market. We know the regulation. We know all our friends in the neighboring country, ASEAN. We know the culture, and also the product that produced in Thailand are perceived as a very high quality product among the ASEAN country. So I think this one is good image if we can work together. And also we can do a lot of things together. As if you have a technology, you can license to the local manufacturer here, or you have some technology that we can explore and extend. Because in Thailand we have a lot of medical school and also the university that have the research and development. We can combine together, join together to try develop something. I mean, we explore. We can explore any kind of opportunity. But please keep in touch, and we can find out together. Thank you.
Thank you, Arizona. And I'm very sad to say the time unfortunately has run out quite swiftly. So we don't have any time left for both and particularly to give answer to questions, but I would like to remind you that there is the possibility also to interact offline. So if you want to say and ask our panelists additional information, additional views, you can do it by sending an email at internazionale@ambrosetti.eu. So thank you. Allow me to say thank you. A very heartily thank you to the panelists, to all the friends in Italy and in Thailand attending this event. And I'm very happy to hand over the floor to Director Arun Rath for her concluding remarks. Thank you very much. And Director, please, the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you, Tavasi. On behalf of Thailand Foreign Investment, myself, and Honorable Ambassador, Honorable Speaker, Director Kolapat Tri Sansi, Chairman Adison Apasuchirat, and expert from BOI Kusana Saheng, and also Kun Akbakto Lalumia from Victoria to give us the knowledge today. I would like to thank everyone for your time and the interest to join our event today. I hope you have the better picture for Thailand medical device market. For those who are in Italy, I mean, you can send like Kun Tavasi already mentioned. If you have more questions, you can ask. You can have the email to Embassy, and I and my team is here in Paris. We are more than happy to assist you to explore your business in Thailand. So you can also coordinate one-on-one virtual meeting for your company with any of our Thailand team after the webinar. Just let the embassy know that they will cooperate with me. Thank you very much for your time once again.
Thank you. Thank you very much, everyone. Have a good day and have a good afternoon. Thank you indeed.
Thank you.